Well, hello there, folks, and welcome back to Gaborn's Ranger Escapades, Episode 2. Last time we started in Qeynos and ran around the newbie field a little bit. Today we're going to be going to Surefall Glade and doing a little bit of messing around in Qeynos Hills, I believe. This is a longer episode than I remember. I'm coming back through a week later to do this intro here. There's a couple areas of interest in Qeynos Hills. You've got the Undead Ruins here, where a named necromancer named Pizgen, or Pizgen, I'm sure somebody will correct my pronunciation on that. But she's like level 13, and she drops a glowing black stone that sells for like 2k. I advise staying away from those ruins if you're low level. There's some high level skeletons that'll ruin your day. And she's usually camped anyways, so... good luck with that. There's the entrance to Blackburrow, the Knoll stronghold in the region from where they launch their assaults. If you've ever wondered where Fippy Darkpaw comes from, he probably runs out of there before suiciding against the guards. We'll be heading there at some point. There's a couple interesting NPCs in the zone to watch out for too. Nicholas Resin here is I believe a level 30 or 40 paladin, and he will murder any evil races or classes that he sees, so stay on your toes. There's also Varsoon, the counterpoint to Nicholas. They will actually fight it out if they see each other. I believe he's level 25 or 30. And he's also got another necromancer that I believe follows the same path, called Torvax Mar, who is a little bit lower level. But they path all over the zone, so watch out for them. They will kill you if you are a good guy. There's Holly Windstalker here. I believe she'll kill you if you're a bad guy, and if she sees you poaching bears and wolves in this zone. So if you're going to be poaching, make sure to keep your eyes open. Us rangers and druids don't care for that. You've got to get a permit, damn it. There's Bao Bob. I'm just going to call him Billy Bob. Billy Bob Miller and Chonda Miller. They have a bear hide and wolf hide quest that will give you boots, belts, and capes out of those hides. This is by far the easiest quest line in the Qeynos areas to get any armor at all. All of the other quests in the zone, in the area for armor, are garbage. I don't suggest doing them. And this is Surefall Glade that we'll be going to here in a minute. Hager Sureshot, the Ranger Guildmaster, is over there practicing his archery. You've got the beautiful Ranger hideout on top of the pond or lake. It's not really big enough to be a lake, but situated in front of that beautiful waterfall, so the Rangers can protect and nurture the bears that hibernate and live inside the cave system there. But even under the watchful gaze of the Rangers and Druids of Surefall Glade, a dark menace still lurks, poaching and killing the wildlife at will. Is there anything that we can do about it? Is there anything that anyone can do about it? I think the first stop that we should make is obviously the legendary Ranger Hager Sureshot. You can find him out here practicing his archery, surrounded by his adoring fans. And he is also going to be who we want to give our training note to. But if you talk to him, he gives you a little bit of information about a man named Talim Shuntar. Talim is a brutal poacher who has been organizing raids into all of the neighboring and surrounding lands. He is involved in at least 3 quests and can be a pain in the ass to hunt down. This is him outside of Qeynos early in the morning, but whatever. We'll give our tattered note to Hager Sureshot here, and he gives us our first chest piece, the mud-stained tunic. 3 AC and made specifically for Rangers. Also need to check our skills. I think at level 3 we learned something. I'm not entirely sure what it is. The wiki would probably say if I pulled it up right now and checked, but I find it's important to put at least 1 skill point into some of the skills I know I'm going to be using. Bind Wound is obviously important. You most likely won't be able to afford bandages starting out since they cost like 1 platinum per stack unless you can get a friendly mage to summon you a whole bunch. But it's definitely a useful skill to have. Forage will be required for several quests down the road, I believe, and can be a very useful way to make side money if you get some of the rare forage items in specific zones that people need, as well as a good way just to stay out in the wilderness without having to hunt down food and water. Forage has the chance of finding food or water or random other items every time you use it. Fishing, never know. Swimming is a good one to put points into. I don't know if you can even gain skill in it until you put 1 point into it, and it is a very slow skill to raise. I doubt I'll be using throwing, since I'm an archer. I will be leveling that up exclusively. And then, alcohol tolerance, begging, and things like that. I'll be maxing out my begging. I also tested out cranking up the music a little bit. I eventually just decided, I believe, to turn the music off in-game and edit it in after the fact. This is Galarian Nalev. He is inside the Ranger Guild Hall, and he is who you will be turning poacher heads into. You can find poacher heads from poachers all over the world, but there are at least 2 of them that spawn in this zone, and I believe you can start killing them around level 6 or 7 solo. If you're extremely brave. I would honestly wait until you're like level 9 and get your snare ability. Obviously, if you're twinked, you can fight them far earlier. But this character is probably not going to be twinked too heavy. Due to the lack of armor quests, I may get some armor around level 12 or 13 or so. Other than that, I want to see what we can find with quests around here and drops and stuff. And possibly making trips into, say, the Warrens or Blackburrow along the way to see what we can pick up. Morona Castekin here has a quest that will send you into the Qeynos Aqueducts to find her brother, Ron Castkin. So we will have to make a mental note of that and try to hunt him down as well once we head back. Vastiri no Monoi here has a quest to pick up a wooden statue or idol that he asked to be carved. It's something you can do whenever you run back to Qeynos, which is where we will be heading next, because quite frankly that's still the best place for me to get experience and money. You don't actually get an item, you don't get any gear for doing this quest, but I want to do it anyways just simply because it seems kinda neat. Korun Feniskir is going to be the last quest that I am going to be checking out for the time being. He wants you to hunt down Gnoll hunters that spawn right outside Surefall Glade here. I'm not sure if they spawn just at night or during the day, because I've seen them when the sun was up and bright and when it was dark. But if you kill Gnoll hunters, they drop a top part of the staff and a bottom part of the staff. If you bring both of those back and give them to Korun here, he will give you a staff of the Jagged Pine. It has fairly good stats for starting out, and also gives you a few stat increases, I think strength and some hit points, perhaps. We will no doubt be trying to get that before we leave the Qeynos area. But after talking to him and making a checklist of everything I wanted to do, I decided it was time to head back to the newbie yard here. You can see on my tracking, everything is still blue. I'm only level 3, so it's time to quit goofing around and actually start getting some experience. I picked up a 2-handed sword so that I could raise my 2-handed skill. Rangers have access to tons and tons of weapons. It's useful if you're going to be a ranger to keep your weapon skills high in just about everything, because you never know what you're going to stumble across cheap enough to buy, or maybe you go on a nice adventure into a fun dungeon and you find something neat. Unlike, say, my bard, who is pretty much relegated to one-hand blunt and one-hand slashing. Rangers have a choice. We bumped into De Jure Darkpaw here. The Darkpaw clan are terrorizers of Qeynos and Qeynos Hills. There are multiple family members of the Darkpaw clan. We will be hunting as many of them down as possible and chopping their heads off. While running around, Talarian of the Misfits of Marhir gave out a shout that he was giving out druid buffs at the gate. I will never say no to buffs. I can convince myself not to twink my character out at the start and dump a whole bunch of gear onto him. But if I can get Skin Like Diamond and Spirit of Wolf and Chloroplast and Shield of Spikes or whatever he's going to give us, you're damn right I'm going to take it. I'm going to let that power go to my head. We're going to become the king. We're going to become a god of the newbie yard here. Every single creature that dares breathe or walk is going to have to bow down before the new reign of Gaborn here. So, with all that extra strength flowing through my veins, we've got 273 hit points, AC is 95. Chloroplast will give an insane hit point regeneration rate every tick. I think it's plus 15. Don't quote me on these stats, I mostly just pull them straight out of my butt. The only one I know for sure is the Funky Tunic, which is plus 15. But yeah, I went on a murder spree here, hunting down all of the Clicknicks that I could find. Because quite frankly, I was having a power trip.
And could you blame me? With buffs like this? It was only a matter of time until the humans would rise up against the beetle overlords of the newbie training grounds. Gaborn got the scent of the first Princess Clicknick, and began a long march of regicide that lasted until the sun came up. Beetle after beetle fell to blade, to boot, and to club. The newbie's bloodthirst would not be quenched until every single noble beetle had been slain and the queen herself would show her face. How many princesses would we have to slaughter? How many princes would have to be castrated on the field of battle before the wicked witch would show herself?
While fighting those, Fippy Darkpaw spawned. I still had a couple of my buffs and figured I might as well try and take him. He was an even con at level 4. And I didn't really expect to have any problems with him, but again, you never know. Once, and especially with my buffs starting to fall off, that was kind of good timing for Fippy. I always thought he was called Flippy growing up. I still want to call him Flippy, but me and Lumion here, I should have invited him, but we basically teamed up to take him down. I screamed death to Fippy, as if Fippy needed our help to die. His entire existence is one of pain and suffering. What's that one guy, Sisyphus, who's pushing the boulder up the hill in Greek mythology? That's what Fippy is. His life is spawning and then running into the guards to brutally die. I don't think any of the Darkpaw family members that spawn in this zone actually drop anything, but it's still a good feeling to kill them, especially to give them a little bit of payback for all the chaos and pain they've given newbies over the years. So, with the buffs wearing off and me finally hitting level 5, I decided it was time to take care of some things that I had been putting off far longer than I normally would, namely getting my inventory under control. So far, I've got a small bag, a small set of pouches, and a small chest to drop from the skeletons. They don't drop backpacks, I believe. So that's something you have to go take care of on your own. First, however, I wanted to swing by Minkez Tabulet here. He can make 4 pieces of armor for you. A rat pelt cape, a lucky rat's foot necklace, a rat fur cap that is useless, and a snake fang necklace. For now, the only thing I have enough of to complete the quests is for a snake fang necklace. It's it's not good at all. None of the stuff you can get from this guy is good, obviously. But you know what? It is gear that we can get. And it's most likely better than the cloth choker that I've got on. It's got save, poison, +2, and I will lose 1 AC. So the cloth choker might actually be better. Snake fang necklace might give me enough poison resist to resist feeble poison from small snakes or something like that. And he can get some other things that I'm going to be picking up later. After that, it was time to go talk to Felicia Varshin here at the Bag and Barrel in order to pick up some backpacks. I have a hoarding disorder when it comes to video games, and I will fill up every single last slot of inventory that I can find. So for now, we'll just be switching to backpacks, and someday when I make my way out to East Commons, we'll be picking up hand-tailored backpacks for the extra 2 slots. But for now, this will simply have to do. Let's see. After getting backpacks, getting my inventory sorted, getting the necklace, I believe it's time to go complete this quest that we picked up in Surefall Glade. That's not what we're looking for. That's the Bag and Barrel where we came from. Don't want to go that way. We're looking for this. Nesif's Wooden Weapons. You might remember that we were tasked with picking up a small wooden statue that Nesif Talaherd, right here, the owner of the shop, was being commissioned to create for Vestiri no Manoi there. And since we agreed to do it, we might as well. Even the Qeynos guards uses my arrows, Nesif says. I will not ever be buying arrows from any vendor. At some point in the near future, I'm going to begin leveling up fletching. I believe I need to get it up into the 160s, or maybe even the 230s or something, in order to undergo the Raincaller quest that I will be undertaking at some point. I plan to do most of the Ivy Etched Armor quests, the Raincaller quest, and a couple other ones to completion, because they are pretty neat. So we give Vestiri the note. He hands us the idol. We can get a little bit of faction. I don't even think we got any coin. Might have scrolled past whenever I wasn't looking. But it was something. We're going to help that guy out in Surefall. Let's see. We could buy a longbow for 3 platinum. A short bow for 3 platinum. I couldn't do it even if I wanted to, since I don't have enough money. But there is another quest in Surefall Glade where we will be getting I believe, an elm recurve bow. And it's a fairly nice bow for the level. And it's a whole lot better than having to buy it. But after turning that in, it was time to head back to Surefall Glade. Do a bit more running around. I decided to kill some wolves while out here, trying to get their pelts. You can hear a thunderstorm outside right now while I do this voiceover. But you want wolf pelts for Boabob? Billy Bob? I'm just going to call him Billy Bob. You need the wolf pelts for Billy Bob and the bear pelts for Chandra. Scruffy here has a history with EverQuest. If I'm not mistaken, if my lore is right, he was the first NPC that they set up in the game or something like that. So you have to pay respects to Scruffy. Kill him, chop his ear off, give him a little bow, and then be on your way. And if you want high quality pelts from bears and wolves, you're gonna have to kill a lot of them. Usually they drop ruined pelts, then low quality, then medium quality, then high quality. The ruined pelts aren't really good for anything. I think they sell for like 6 copper. Occasionally I'll loot them if I've lost my mind or I'm not thinking. You can see me with my mouse complaining about my ping up there. And after running around collecting hides, I guess I decided not to go back to Surefall Glade. I got a bunch of giant rat pelts, and we're going to most likely get the rat pelt cape from Menkez here. Not that we'll be wearing it long, because I do plan to go get the bear and wolf one, if I can find the proper hide. The rat pelt cape has AC1 and save of cold +2. That way, if you go in Blackburrow and the shamans try to ice frost or ice spike you or whatever it's called, maybe you can resist it. Ultimately, it's worthless. You can probably sell the cape and the necklace to a vendor for like 6 silver or something. Not anything that useful. I do suggest if you're going to fight the bears over here, especially if you're going to be foolish like me and not watch your health and take dangerous chances, stay close to the zone line so you can easily just dive back over. And if your health gets too low, I believe under 24%, you shouldn't even try to run at that point. For those of you who don't know, when your health gets low enough, you actually lose agility and movement speed. And there is also a low health aggro mechanic, where if you have low health and run past aggressive monsters, I believe they're more likely to turn on you, because they can sense your weakness. I bought some bandages for a plat in town because I was being dumb, and I didn't mind wasting money for some reason, so I decided I would just practice my bind wound. It's not something I'm going to do very often early on, and I decided to head back to Surefall Glade now. We did everything we're going to do with our rat pelt guy, and I bumped into Varsoon, being murdered by Nicholas Resin. This is something that I didn't know at the time, so I was pretty damn surprised when it happened. I knew that NPCs could fight and stuff, but what happens to Varsoon when Nicholas strikes him down was a surprise for me. I believe he's part of the a paladin quest or something, but as soon as he dies, Varsoon the Undying spawns instantly, and he is not aggressive with Nicholas, so they will not continue fighting. And if you're close enough, like I almost was, because I thought I was going to be safe with Nicholas there killing everything. Varsoon could have easily just aggroed on me, and he most likely would have death touched me or killed me in 1 or 2 hits. 2 hits if I was lucky. But yeah, whenever you're moving through Qeynos Hills here, keep your eyes open for Varsoon and Torvax. There's also another extremely rare one that I doubt I'll get any video footage of, called Pisgin? Something like that. She is a little gnome necromancer that spawns over by the undead ruins. I believe she has a placeholder, and she has a chance to spawn every day at a specific time. I can't remember what the wiki says about her. But she drops a glowing black stone, which is +9 intelligence for casters and can be used in the offhand. Sells for about 1.5 to 2k, I think. While heading back to Surefall to turn in that wooden idol we picked up, I ran across a Gnoll Hunter. If you remember earlier, whenever we were speaking to, what was it, Corson? He wanted us to get the broken staff pieces from the Gnoll Hunters out here. There is a top part and a bottom part, and they're both lore, so you can't just stock up on them. But you take both of those parts back to him and you get the Jagged Pine staff. That was really loud thunder. I already lost power once earlier while editing. I hope it doesn't happen again, but who knows. Anyways, you'll probably have to kill 3, 4, or 5 of these hunters in order to get both parts. And I would suggest farming these things if you're going to be in the area for a while, because every time you complete the quest and turn in both staff pieces to Corson, you get anywhere from 4 to 9 platinum, which is an incredible amount. at these levels. So that one dropped the bottom of the broken staff. So now we just have to look for the top one. Rusty Warhammer. I'll take it. It's basically dead weight, but whatever. We're going to be heading into Surefall soon, so I can sell to the vendors there and unload. I think that was about all I did today. I took down another Knoll Hunter. I have a feeling that this one just dropped a lore, the piece that I've already got, unfortunately. But yeah, this video went on a little bit longer than I thought. Next time we come back, we're going to start looking at heading into Blackburrow and completing a few more of these quests out here for the bear and wolf hide armor. I believe I've got the cloaks, or not the cloaks, but the pelts that I need for them now. I just need to get the right amount of gold. Because you can't hand them platinum, you can't hand them silver. If they ask for 21 gold, it better be 21 gold pieces that you hand them. If you are kind and there are druids or rangers in the zone, you can also tell them in OOC where that staff piece dropped so they can grab it as well if you can't carry one. Kind of a nice thing to do, because again, that platinum boost can really help a lower level, especially a druid who is probably going to be hurting for cash when it comes to spells. But I will see you guys next time. That was all the way up to level 5. It's taken longer than I thought it would, but I've also been goofing around a lot, just running around doing quests that I normally wouldn't do. They don't give the best of rewards, they don't give a ton of experience or gold. But it's something, it's kind of fun. I like getting to know more about the zones and NPCs in the area. We'll see you guys next time.